Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of February 24th, 2021. If I sound a little winded, I just tried out that Nintendo Ring Fit thing on the Switch, and man, is it a decent workout, and I only did it for about 10 minutes. It's interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes, but trying to be a little bit more healthy around here. So we got the Ring Fit, and hopefully we'll start having a nice exercise routine. But hopefully I don't put it right before I record. So yeah, but let's get right into it. First up this week, we have Batman Black and White number 3. I've been enjoying these black and white issues. The stories are really good. It really kind of focuses on the art and just the story when it's in black and white. The color takes away a little bit from what you're reading, but it adds to it as well. But I think black and white, for at least Batman, has a really strong appeal and a really strong resonance when you read them. Next up, we have another Batman title, and that's Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. This is book 5. Book 5. Hey, I guess right. Book 5. I've been enjoying this. Sean Murphy's Batman universe is fantastic. I cannot wait to dive in and see what happens in this one. But if you have not yet checked out White Knight or Curse of the White Knight or Batman Presents Harley Quinn, Batman White Knight Presents Harley Quinn, you seriously need to. They're great books. Next up is Bloodshot number 11. It's been okay. This is not the best run of Bloodshot that Valiant has put out since they came back. I really enjoyed the first handful, and they kind of built on each other and were really good. There was only one that I was kind of in the middle, and this is probably one of those that's just mediocre. So hopefully we'll see something turn, but they're most likely going to renumber it at some point because that's what Valiant's been doing recently. So we'll see. Next up is one of those big Donny Cates Image books, and that's Crossover number 4. If you are not checking out Crossover, you really should. It's fantastic. Donny Cates does a fantastic job establishing a world that is bombarded with basically every type of superhero imaginable and villain imaginable in kind of like a space that's near reality. So definitely something that I think has tons of potential, and I cannot wait to see where Donny Cates takes us. Next up is James Tynion IV's Department of Truth number 6. This is, I believe, the B cover. Yes, this is the B cover. That's the one I decided to get this week. Yes, Department of Truth is apparently being picked up for a TV series, I believe, which means that everyone's going speculator crazy for Department of Truth number 1 or number 1s. But if people ordered how we ordered, there's a ton of them out there. So yeah, but Department of Truth really good. I know we sold out of the first trade, which came out today. So you're gonna have to wait to snag one of those if you want to get caught up. But it is out there, and it's really, really good stuff. There's this one issue in particular. I think it's issue 4. I'm not sure, but it just dives into like the weaving of a conspiracy theory and just what it all entails. And man, it is intense and crazy. But it's really, really good stuff. The art's kind of just out there. It works for the book. It is a little off-putting, but I think once you get used to it, it kind of feels, you kind of just get accustomed to it, and you're reading more for the information, for the story, than you are necessarily seeing some art, great grandiose art, even though the art is amazing in this style of art. But Department of Truth, check it out. Next up is Future State Aquaman and number 2. So we're going to follow Mera and Aqua Lad around and see what's going on with them as they're a little older. The first issue was okay. I enjoyed it. So we'll see where the second part of this story goes. Next up, we have Future State Batman Superman. So of course, we are continuing the Batman and Superman team up stuff in this. It's been enjoyable. Okay, there's a yawn. Yeah, take it, leave it, whatever. Take a drink. But yeah, that one's been pretty good. Honestly, I have to kind of refresh my memory at what that one is because I don't quite remember. But once I pick it up, I'll probably remember. Next up, we have Future State Dark Detective number 4. I have not finished 3, but I have been enjoying the Dark Detective book itself with all the extra stuff in it. And so yeah, and we're more featuring the Red Hood in this one. Next up is Future State Legion of Superheroes number 2. So this is the second part to that Future State Legion of Superheroes story. And the first one was good, and I enjoyed it, so I'm going to check out the second issue. The art is okay. I'm not a huge fan of, was it Riso? Where is it? Rosmo. I'm not a huge fan, but yeah, I can handle it. Next up, we have Future State Suicide Squad number 2, and we got a lovely Peacemaker helmet there with a reflection of some squad members. Suicide Squad, there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline for Suicide Squad, so be on the lookout for that. Especially pumping that Peacemaker stuff, especially with the movie coming later this year. So yes, and the Peacekeeper TV show. So I think this movie's later this year. I'm hoping. But we're gonna start watching a lot of movies on HBO Max and stuff. So be ready. Next up, we have Superman, or Future State Superman House of L number 1. I believe they released this book later because of the other stories that happened with Superman and Kara and all that. So there's one more coming out after this, and that's going to be, I think, towards the end of March. Yeah, so you're still going to kind of get one straggler Future State title, so be on the lookout for that one. So I have no idea what that one's about. We'll see. Next up is Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex number 2. Oh man, Mark Russell does an amazing job, basically, taking political satire and just world satire and all that stuff and cramming it into something and making it funny and really, really good and basically true on all counts for what's happening. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's been good. I cannot wait to see what happens with the rest of it. But yeah, Mark Russell, if you have not yet checked out some of his work, I definitely recommend his Flintstones run. There's two of them. The Flintstones run, and I really enjoyed his Second Coming, and Second Coming Only Begotten Son has been really good too, from Ahoy Comics, so check that out. Next up is a book that I think a lot of people are going to have skipped the first one shot and will most likely be bummed that they did. But yeah, this is the second one that's coming up, and that's Generations Forged number 1. We had Generations Shattered number 1 come out last month, and man, I really enjoyed that. It was great. It was awesome. Just everything popped in that book, and so I can't wait to read even more of what was happening in this thing. So yeah, so for those of you that did not necessarily get a chance to read the first one, probably be on the lookout for a collection of those down the road. But man, Dan Jurgens, Robert Venditti just did a fantastic, and Andy Schmidt just did a fantastic job writing, and man, cannot wait to see what happens with that, and with what that leads us into with Infinite Frontier, which I believe is out next week. So yeah, a lot of stuff out next week. Next up, we have Robert Kirkman's Oblivion Song number 30. Oblivion Song is I enjoy it. It's good. I think the weird part is it's been jumping around in time a lot between issues and even within issues, and so it's very, very kind of hard to sometimes follow that, especially if you're reading it month to month. I'm not sure if it reads better in trade. I don't know anyone who reads it in trade. If you read it in trade, let me know how well it reads. Kirkman's stuff, I've read most of his stuff as in trade format. Walking Dead I read in all trade format. Invincible I read in all trade format. And so yeah, I didn't really, the only stuff that I've read of his single issue has been Outcast and Oblivion Song and in the Die 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 book. And Die 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 is just whatever. It's just chaos and blood and gore and all that, and pregnancy or birth control for men, that it's all this weird crazy stuff, and it's really cool. It comes out sporadically, so it's not something that I'm like, oh, I must get this. And when you read one issue to the next, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, that was the story. But something like Outcast and Oblivion Song, Outcast has been a slow burn. I mean, that book is good, it's amazing, but man, it is slow, and with kind of some of the delays in it coming out, man, this last kind of story arc is just dragged on. So I'm curious to see what happens with these books going forward. But yeah, Robert Kirkman stuff, I tend to think I might switch over to just reading it in trade because, yeah, some of the single issues just don't do it for me. I mean, I guess it just really depends on the subject matter. Don't get me wrong, I've loved Outcast and I've loved Oblivion Song, yeah, and Die 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 is great, but who knows? Well, let me know. Is Oblivion Song better in trade? Next up, we have Something is Killing the Children, number 15. Man, oh man, are people nuts for this book. It's great. It's a solid book. But yeah, people are bananas for Something is Killing the Children. But man, if you haven't been reading it, you need to try and track down a trade. Those things they come in and they go. They come in and they go. So I've enjoyed it. It's really good stuff. And again, it's James Tynion the Fourth, and man, is he just on fire right now with his independent work and his work over at DC. I did pick up some variants this week. I got the variants for Batman Black and White number 3, so I picked up this one, the first one I got, and I have like no space to pile stuff. Give me a sec. There we go. And this was the other one I picked up for the Batman Black and White number 3 variant. Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn number 5. I snagged up this variant here, a really awesome variant of just kind of a family portrait in a house burning, which is kind of ominous. Picked up the Future State Legion variant because it's pretty cool, like pose, team pose thing. Again, get another one of those with the lovely Future State Suicide Squad number 2. And man, oh man, does that team look rough, but so awesome. Cannot wait to dive in and check that out. We have more regalness from Superman with Future State Superman House of L, number 1. So I snagged that variant up. And of course I picked up the Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex number 2 variant. Generations Forged number 1 had a pretty cool variant, so I picked that one up as well. And yeah. That's pretty much it for what I brought home single issue wise. I have been starting to pre-order like my Star Wars books through the comic book store, and I've been amazed at how Diamond actually gets us the book without really any damages on it. So I picked up Star Wars Victory's Price, an Alphabet Squadron book. This is actually book 3. I've read book 1. I don't own book 2, and now I own book 3. So I had to correct that and get it off of Amazon today. So yeah, but I enjoyed the first one about Alphabet Squadron. It was really good. It ties in with the TIE Fighter mini that happened in Star Wars recently. So if you are curious about what's going on, Marvel is really kind of trying to make canon a cross-platform, cross-media thing. And I think they're doing a fantastic job with what they're doing. TIE Fighter was good. I enjoyed it, and yeah, check it out. It's good stuff. I mean, the new canon is the new canon, and all the books I've read so far have been really good to good. Like nothing has been really bad. So, and that's that's saying something. Oh yeah, a couple other things I picked up, but let me get through to one thing first. I picked up one book to check out from Image, and I'm probably going to be doing this going forward for a few months, at least with their number 1s, because they have some returnability, so stores can actually, order a whole bunch without having to feel like, oh my god, I'm going to get stuck with a product that, are people going to buy it or not? And that's Two Moons number 1. So I'm going to check this out and see if it's something worth reading. If I think it's worth reading, then you will most likely see it on a future pull list on my actual pull list video, not on just the read pile. I did get a couple things this week else as well. One of my Kickstarters came in, and that is the Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel Noctera number 1, like deluxe hardcover version. It came with 3 prints, which you can see one of them right there, the Boss Logic one. And the other ones are behind it. But yeah, in the front is really awesome, and then the back is is awesome as well. I cannot wait to dive into Noctera. I have not read the digital copy that I got because I backed the Kickstarter, and I have not yet popped this bad boy open because next week Noctera comes out, and if you haven't pre-ordered yours, you seriously need to make sure to contact your store and say, hey, I want to make sure I get my copy of Noctera #1. Now, I do want to say something about this. This is actually bigger than an absolute. It's just a little bit bigger than an absolute. So yeah, it fits okay in the middle of your shelf as it's bowing down, but don't even try to put it at the end of your bookshelf for your high ones. You're not going to be able to. But my second Kickstarter came in. I did record an unboxing video for it, so you can actually check it out a little bit more in depth and see the 3 prints that I got, but I have not yet gotten a chance to sit down and post that video, so I'm hoping to get to that at least this weekend. But again, it's also it's the end of the month, which means I have to do a whole bunch of shipping. So tomorrow is going to be a super busy day, and then Friday night, baby, I'm going to be in the shop by myself, blaring the tunes and just packing shit up and shipping it out to people. So yeah, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm able to get it up soon. But I've been super stoked that a couple of Kickstarters have started to come in, and I've been happy with the 2 that I've received so far. So fingers crossed that the rest of the ones I backed are good as well. I did get something big this week, and it's because they're just really cool. I picked up the DC Legends Jim Lee artist edition a while ago, or 2 years ago maybe. Really awesome. I enjoyed that. I haven't popped it open yet. I really should. But I decided to get the Jim Lee X-Men Artists Edition. Woohoo! Right here. So this bad boy, pop it up. Let me get it open for you so you can see it. These are really awesome books. They are just really big. These are what people would call a coffee table book. I would call this a giant's coffee table book, basically. But let you see it in the box there. But yeah, these things are totally just really awesome. So there it is right there. I mean, size-wise, I mean, it's giant. But they have like awesome shot on the back of one of Jim Lee's Wolverines. It's got a signature put on there for you. But if you look close enough, you can actually see that like they taped the stuff on to like kind of do the copying of it. So it's like they got the original artwork back to scan in some of these cases, and man, is this just really cool. They sometimes can go for a fair amount more than what you buy them for. So there is some collectability to them, but yeah, I really think they just do an amazing job on these periods. So I mean, I'm not a huge Marvel guy right now, but Jim Lee's X-Men is some beautiful artwork, let me tell you. So, and you get this bad boy back in the box, but it is also the end of the month, and when it's the end of the month, we get a wonderful thing that gets a lot of us in trouble, and that is the Previews magazine. So the March 21 Previews, number 390, is for stuff on sale in May, is out. Bam! So you can snag it up at your local shop, look through it. Hopefully your local shop has a copy. A fair amount of image books I've dog-eared. I think I'm just checking like covers and stuff. But they do have a fair amount of number 1s coming out. So you want to be on the lookout for those to see if there's anything that piques your interest. But again, this is basically how you pre-order stuff, and it's the best thing you can do. I did grab, or you also can get the Marvel previews. Marvel is not actually included in this. Some of the figures are, but for the most part, the comic books are in here and the trades are in here. So yeah, pretty much, I don't really get much out of these things. I got a Star Wars Epic Collection marked that I have to make sure I'm still down for, but pretty much it. And then this wonderful dinky poster. Yay! So, you know, Batman The Dark Knight by Tom Taylor, artist Andrew Kubrick. Yep, coming out. They have a bunch of stuff here showing things like the Challenge of the Super Sons. Number 1 is coming out, the next Batman Second Son, which goes a little bit more into Fox as Batman. There's a Damian Robin book. and that's an Infinite Frontier title apparently. And then we have Harley Quinn, and they're doing this RWBY. I don't know what that is in Justice League crossover, but yeah, it's all the. That's what you can get for DC to look at. If you want to check everything else out, you have to go to the wonderful website of dc.com/connect, or scan this wonderful barcode right there. Let me get it super close, so if you want to pause, you can scan it. Yeah. And then you go through the digital one like you're looking through a Best Buy catalog, or Best Buy ad for whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I did finish Final Fantasy VII over the weekend, or on the break. I almost have it 100%ed. I just need to play through a little bit again and go on a date with Barrett. So for those of you who are Final Fantasy VII fans, you'll know what that is. So I've taken a break for now of my Final Fantasy playing, and I'm waiting for 8 to go on sale so I can go back and tackle that one. But I've started Bravely Default on the DS. I know Bravely Default 2 is out. I tried the demo. I enjoyed the demo, so I went back and I'm going to try the earlier versions of Bravely Default. And so far, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. So we'll see what happens with that. As for everything else, I'm going to be starting to do some Ring Fit, so hopefully, that helps. But yeah, I'll give you some, let you know how it goes. I'm feeling a little tired right now. I can tell I'm going to be sore tomorrow. Yeah. But it's a good thing, so yeah, I'm going to keep it up. That's pretty much it. I'm currently reading, I did finish Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. I'm currently reading the Star Wars The High Republic Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Man, this is, talk about a book that starts out like Rogue One, like ends. Like, there is stuff happens in the beginning of this, you're like, what the? And it's just boom, 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 boom. So I'm only about 30 some odd pages in, but man, is it good. Charles Soule is such a fantastic writer. If you have not yet checked out his novels, Oracle Year or Anyone, I highly recommend them. I read them last year. And he's worked on Daredevil, She-Hulk, and other stuff for Marvel. And he's done a lot of Star Wars work. So definitely check it out, but I'm enjoying this one. And yeah, so that's it. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know what you're picking up. Let me know what you think, if you have any questions, all that. I don't really turn on my notifications, so I'm not good at checking those on a constant basis. But you can leave them, and eventually I'll get to them. You can listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 489, and we talked some WandaVision. We talked about the death of Fry's Electronics, which Bay Area people and at least Texas people and some Washington, Oregon people might know what that is. But yeah, it's not surprising, but it is kind of a little of a shock, especially for people like me who grew up with Fry's. I wasn't at Fry's as much as some other people, but Fry's was definitely, when growing up in the Bay Area, you knew what Fry's Electronics was if you were any semblance of a geek or nerd. Yeah. So, but yeah, we talk about that. We talk about a couple other things. I know the Justice League Snyder Cut's coming soon. We got Dune, I think, coming soon. Whole bunch of stuff to check out movie-wise, so I cannot wait for that. I know Superman and Lois started this week. I don't know if I'm going to jump into it. I don't have cable, and so the CW app is what I would have to watch it on. But I don't know if I have it on my PlayStation, and I'm not sure how much ads they run on it, so we'll see if that's the route I go. But I heard good things in the early reviews, and yeah. We also talked WandaVision, the last episode that was the big reveal for a character. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next two. But really good stuff. Enjoy it. It can go anywhere, and I like that. You can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees and allowing me to get some products. So thank you very much to all of our Patreon backers. It helps out immensely. You can help me out a little more directly by clicking on the Amazon links here or at conspiratorbrock.com, or you can head over to my eBay page. There's, again, a link in the description below for that, and stuff I'm getting rid of. I haven't had a good weekend to get some stuff posted. We've had some rain, and so I haven't been able to go out in the garage and do some sorting. But hopefully the skies will clear up a little bit here, and I'll be able to do that. And, I can ignore my kids for a while and get some organizing comics going. But, yeah. You would normally be able to follow me on Twitter, but I'm still banned. I have been sending appeals every week, so we'll see what happens with that. A good friend of the store and podcast, and I don't know if he watches these videos, posted or added Twitter support saying, why was I at Brock Sager suspended? He didn't do anything that was whatever you're saying it was. It was an auto ban that somebody really needs to pay attention to. So we'll see, but maybe if you want to at Twitter support about, hey, at Brock Sager's blocked, they shouldn't be, because yeah, it sucks. And I'm not really on other social media. I mean, you can follow me on Facebook if you can find me, and I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it, and I don't really follow too many people back. But you can probably request. I don't know. I really don't know how that stuff works anyway. So, but I'm tired. It is a long one this week, but a lot of stuff coming in, especially next week's going to be huge. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.